Now we are live.
Okay,
Yeah,
hi
Muriuki, you
everyone.
can proceed.
Okay, fine. Okay, hi everyone. This is SAS-K, Skeptics and Atheists Society of Kenya. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to like and subscribe. Yeah, and kindly watch till the end. We're taking 1 hour or maybe slightly longer. So again, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so today we're discussing legacies. Yeah, the topic traits legacies, and are they worth it or not? Yeah, so are legacies worth it or not? So now maybe we can begin with the question. When you hear the word legacy, what do you understand by the word legacy? Yeah, thanks. Feel free to raise your hands. What do you understand by the word legacy? Maybe Doctors, you can begin with the definition of legacy.
Okay, legacy. Off the top of my head, I believe legacy is what lives on after you stop existing or after you die. That is, if we are considering human beings, because legacy in other contexts can mean a system or program that used to be, but it no longer is. Nonetheless, its influence still persists. Yeah. So, like you can hear the legacy of colonialism. Yeah. Colonialism is not a person, it was a system, but its influence lives on. So, it's the same thing with human beings. Human beings strive to leave a legacy, or maybe they might not even, you might not consciously want to leave a legacy, but whether you like it or not, you will leave an imprint. Yeah, you leave an imprint on the generations that come after you. It might not even be generations, it's just people. Anybody that lives on after you, anybody that was in your orbit, anybody that interacted with you might be influenced by your presence. So legacy in that respect means the influence that you have on society after you are gone. Now, examples of legacy could be the greats in history, like Nelson Mandela. His legacy was fighting racial discrimination in his country, apartheid. Louis Pasteur, his legacy was creating was creating pasteurization such that we don't fall sick from drinking cow's milk. In our country, somebody like Raila Odinga recently passed on, and people were talking about the legacy that he left. And one of the things cited was the fight for multi-party democracy, because Raila Odinga was at the forefront of that. When I make it even more personal, I think of my mother, Mrs. Irene Soita. Her legacy was that of quiet reliability, because she was always that person for me who could be counted on. Yeah, like she never let me down. For as far as she could help it, she never let me down. She was so reliable, and that was the same description that people used in her workplace when they came for her funeral. And it's the same thing that my brother keeps talking about, or her siblings who are still alive. They keep saying how reliable my mom was. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what I would say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dorcas. El Maestro, when you hear legacy, what do you hear? El Maestro.
Yes, I hope all of you are fine. So, of course, legacy, when I hear legacy, of course, Dorcas had already said it in the beginning, what people remember you for, or what you leave behind after you are no more. That's what I understand by legacy.
Okay,
Yes,
thanks.
just what people
Okay,
remember you for when you are gone, or
yeah.
what maybe like when people think about you, what comes to their mind the first, what first comes to their mind. I think something like that is a legacy.
Okay, thanks. And how about Stano? What about you, Stano? What's legacy to you? Stano, can you talk? Okay, fine. Oh, yeah, for like, okay, I agree. You guys, you're right. It's like lasting impact or contribution. That's a legacy. And today, let's focus on individuals, like Dr. said, Mandela, Gandhi, such people. Now, my question is it worth it? As in, because like now, Mandela is dead, eh? And look at that, for example, South Africa, they're in a mess right now. So Mandela was in jail for 27 years in prison. He has a legacy, but his country is not doing very well right now. So can you say at times, like now for a legacy, at times it's not worth it. We should just move on. And I'm using an example is South Africa right now. South Africa, they're in a mess. Yet Mandela has a legacy of fighting apartheid and going to jail for 27 years. So can you say it's not a big deal because the person is gone? Thanks. Hello, Docas. Okay, El Maestro, El Maestro, huh?
Okay, you said I don't know, sometimes legacy is not worth it. But if you don't know where you are coming from, you cannot know where you are going. So even though South Africa is in a mess right now, of course they know the legacy of Nelson Mandela, and they can maybe they can borrow a leaf from the legacy of Nelson Mandela, and make some changes from their their behavior that has not been so good to their fellow Africans. So as much as South Africa is in a mess right now, I think the legacy of Mandela, maybe it can inspire. It's not that the whole South Africa as a whole country, they have been doing this thing of chasing away foreigners. Not all of them. There are others who are actually against it. And also they cite what Nelson Mandela was fighting for. So it's not completely useless, even though South Africa is a mess. So legacy it cannot be completely useless. There's always somewhere that it can play part, even if it is minimal. There is always somewhere where you can read on to someone's legacy and follow maybe in their footsteps.
Okay, and Maestro, on that, I can use another example. In fact, like Drankimathi, Mandela used to respect Drankimathi because of what he did. But again, Drankimathi was hanged in his own country. He was captured, he was tried, then he was hanged. Then even these freedom fighters, the ones for Kenya, they were like somehow shunned. But even the Kenyatta government, the Moi government. So now, was it worth it? Even the freedom fighters like Kimathi, he's hanged in his own country. Then his group was like a terrorist group. So is it worth it or not? What do you think? Using Kimathi again as an example.
Whether it was whether the government, I don't know whether they were shunned or not. What matters is they fought for the freedom of the country, and the country became free, in my
So,
opinion.
and Maestro,
It's
whatever
still
I
worth
say,
it. It's still worth it.
I say,
It was still worth it.
okay,
If they fought for the freedom of the
what
country and the country is now free, it was worth it.
And what if somebody says Vicky Matthew was handled after he was captured? They say it's not worth it. What would you tell them? They said, that happened to Mandela, 27 years. Kimathi was hanged. It's not worth it. What would you say?
I tell them the same thing. They fought for the freedom of their countries, and their countries are free. Whatever you say after that, it's subjective.
Okay, thanks, El Maestro. Let Maigwa just go. Doctors, let Maigwa go, eh? Because you spoke earlier. Maigwa, please.
Hello, all of you. I would say that whatever El Maestro is speaking about, legacy would not matter to me if I am dead, because really I would not even know after I'm dead. I don't really care about anything. So whatever he's talking about the people who really know that I am dead. Because when I'm dead, I'm not dead to myself. I'm dead to the people who I leave behind. And to those people, what I had done when I lived, when I die, it only matters to them. It does not really matter to me. So does leaving a legacy matter to the person who dies? In my opinion, I don't really think it matters because I will be dead. But if collectively as a society, I think we have to assume that legacy matters, because to the people we live, or to the people who we are dead to, whatever values we held, or whatever values we tried to push as ideal, it matters to them. And perhaps the legacy of Dedan Kimathi as a freedom fighter matters to me 60 years later, only because I'm alive. That's all I have to. That's what I would say.
Okay, Maigwa, what if somebody says, forget Kimathi, we have freedom, let's move on? What would you say to that person? Let's forget him, let's move on. What would you say? Because he's dead, like you're
Uh,
saying.
I will say that it's fine to forget him, because whatever value he was trying to push is eternal anyway. Dedan Kimathi did not invent freedom. Perhaps there will be somebody who would have, because ideas are really not something that these I can't remember his name, but he says that you cannot really own an idea, that when the time for an idea comes, it just it's it grows or it germinates. I don't know the word. So I think that were it not for Dedan Kimathi, perhaps someone else would have sowed the seeds of freedom or fought for freedom, because he was not the only one. So I'd say that, yeah, forget Dedan Kimathi. Whatever he fought for is what, and it's eternal anyway. He did not invent it. So it really does not matter who did it. It does not matter if it's Kimathi's legacy or it's Kenyatta's legacy, because the ideal is eternal anyway.
Okay, thanks, Maigwa. Dorcas?
In the spirit of benevolence and leaving a positive legacy, I would suggest that Rachel speaks first since she had not said anything.
Okay, thanks, Dorcas. Okay, Rachel, you can go. Rachel, please.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dorcas. I would like to say, according to me, I feel legacy is more an impact that you make on other people, much as you could have a cause for yourself or maybe a vision that you have that you're going to execute. It's mostly about the impact that it has on other people. So I could maybe see a fence around my house is broken and then I build it up. But if it is not impacting other people, people don't really necessarily consider it a legacy. But when you build maybe a bigger wall, maybe like the wall of China, it becomes something bigger. So the fact that a person dies does not mean that whatever they did while they were alive was not worth it. Whether it is going to be scorned afterwards or people are still going to appreciate it, it doesn't really invalidate that chenye walifanya was worth being called a legacy. So it's mostly about the impact that it has. We find that some people have bigger visions, some people have smaller visions, some people are selfish, some people are more inclined to include people in their vision. And so it becomes a legacy if it's making an impact on other people. So and most times it's usually about improving your current situation. So if you find yourself at a time where there is colonialism, where there is apartheid, so you want to see a different life. You're tired of the place where you are and you want to see something different. But you see, if you want to see something different, you'll have to now include the larger, because everyone around you is suffering just like you. And for you to change it, it has to be a big impact, you see. So if you die doing it, or if you die even if it has not been accomplished, but there's something that you have started, it's actually it's worth it. Legacies are worth it even if you die and you're not there to see it through to the end or to see it flourish, because we can't live for 1,000 years. We have a limit, but the impact that you could have made is probably something that will outlive us. If you manage to accomplish independence for a country, that is not something that will die with you. It will continue even after you die. So legacies are worth it.
So, Rachel, if I ask you, if you have a young person, can you tell them that if you do something, don't think of a recognition, just do it. Yeah, just don't think of yourself or being remembered, just do it. Is that fair?
Legacies are self-motivated. They're self-motivated. You can't tell someone to create a legacy. If they don't really have it in them, they won't really.
No,
And
as
you
in, don't
see,
seek. No, Rachel, I'm saying don't seek recognition. Don't seek to be recognized. Just do what you're doing. Don't seek pride or a recognition. Is that a fair statement?
but you see, you don't push someone to make a legacy, they do it themselves. Whether they are going to get recognition or not, that is their own motivation. It could actually be something, a legacy could actually be on the negative side. I mean, to the colonialists, independence was something negative. To the Africans, it was positive. To the colonialists, they felt they have triumphed when they conquered the territory. So whether you're doing something right or wrong, I mean, it depends with who is telling the story.
So I'm asking Rachel, should you seek recognition? Should you seek to be
That is for them to
recognized?
decide. That is for them to decide.
Okay, fine. Okay, thanks. Okay, Dorcas. Dorcas.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely. I believe it is worth it. I'm going to give my reasons why, but I will also acknowledge the other side of the argument. In fact, let me start with that one and then get back to why I believe it's still worth it. I remember some time back, probably last year or the year before, on our group, somebody shared a short clip of Mike Tyson being interviewed. And the interviewer was asking him about his legacy in boxing.
I remember that. I remember.
Oh, yes, yes. And when people were commenting, I recall that a substantial number of commenters agreed with Mike Tyson because Mike Tyson was saying chasing legacy is vain. It is short-sighted because it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's ego. Yeah, that was the crux of his argument, that it is ego. You're just inflating it, and it really doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. And in the grand scheme of things, if you look at the universe in its totality and the cosmos, time as it passes by means that you won't be remembered. Like 100 years from now, if somebody asks, who is Morioki? People likely won't know, especially if you didn't have any kids. So there's nobody to say, my great-grandfather was so-and-so. So it won't really matter in the grand scheme of things. However, I think, and I'll get into the details of achievement, trophies, etc. later when you ask that question. But let me finish this thought. However, I think that when people are so obsessed with the vastness of the cosmos, the vastness of the universe, and how nothing will really matter, they become fatalistic. Because we don't live in the grand scheme of things. We live in a certain fraction of the universe within a certain fraction of time. That's what matters at the end of the day. So I am going to focus on that aspect. I'm going to focus on my environment. It might be small, it might be Nairobi or its environments, or Kenya. Maybe that's where Kenya, Uganda, because I do have relatives across the border. So I might have a very small circle of influence. It's not even global, let alone universal, but it's still a circle of influence. And there are people that will be better thanks to the input that I will have given, or any other person for that matter. So now let me give my reasons why I do think that it matters. It's because we as human beings are communal creatures. Yuval Noah Harari said in his book *Sapiens*, the reason why human beings are an apex species is because of our capacity to cooperate. It's not our intelligence, it's not our speed. There are so many other species that are more efficient, that are speedier, that are faster, that are stronger than us. It is actually our ability to cooperate, working together. You can't live life as an individual and make it and survive. Our species needs other people, indirectly or directly. So if we all adopted that fatalistic, nihilistic view that in the grand scheme of things, nothing matters, so there's no point in leaving a legacy, in improving our state of affairs, then we will be stuck with problems that could have been solved ages ago. Perhaps we would still have slavery. Perhaps we would still have colonialism if we thought that legacy doesn't matter. Because you're just thinking of yourself, you're like, I won't be there to enjoy that legacy. So what's the point? So we would still have those problems. We would have slavery, we would have colonialism, we would have all the diseases that are spread without vaccines. Like all the diseases that we have stopped, that we have eradicated thanks to vaccines. Because the person would say, it doesn't really matter right now, I will be gone. By the time we eradicate smallpox or measles, I will be long gone, so it doesn't really matter. And we would not advance as a species. So I think that it does. It might not benefit you directly. Actually, that's as Rachel said, the point of a legacy is not to benefit you, it's to benefit others. And we as human beings need to look out for others in order for our species to survive. So yeah, that's my bottom line. Thank you. Oh yeah, and I have a question for people. There are some individuals who get kids in order to have a legacy. Do you think that is rational? Yeah. Do you think that is rational and beneficial to society, that you have children in order to leave a legacy? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dorcas. Maybe I can answer you. For me, it's not okay. If you can afford them, fine. But trust me, once you die, like maybe like Uhuru Kenyatta, when I see him, I don't see Kenyatta. Me, I see Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't see his father. You know, people think that when you leave kids behind, people will see you. But I don't think so. People will see that person, they don't see you. So for me, it's not, it didn't work for me having kids. When you go, people see your kids. Okay, now maybe I can talk, go to the next point about these trophies, certificates. And I want to ask El Maestro a question. El Maestro, the World Cup, you know, it's so expensive. It costs million. So El Maestro, don't you think the team which wins the match should get the money, play the players, then instead of a cup, just give money to people or something. That cup is it's just a trophy that's so expensive, that's just there. So Maestro, what if I say the World Cup is meaningless, the trophy? What would you say, El Maestro?
Oh, Muruki, you don't know do you know the amount of money the players who win the World Cup get? Do you know?
No, I don't know. I don't. I'm
Hey,
talking about the cup. The cup is why waste
of
money
course,
on a cup? Yeah.
of course, the winning the cup, it is you know, World Cup is the biggest trophy in football. So winning the World Cup, of course, it means that you are remembered forever in the history of football. But also the money that you get, it's a lot of money that players get. There's prize money for the winners, prize money for the runners up, prize money for the people who finish third. But now the ones who win the cup get the most amount of money.
No,
So
El Maestro.
even
El
it's a
Maestro.
win-win situation. You win, you get money, and still you are remembered in in the history of the football because you won this trophy.
No, El Maestro. What if I say the cup is meaningless? Better to turn
It's not.
the cup into money. It's just some gold. So what?
It is not meaningless. If you are a football fan, it's not meaningless. It is not meaningless. It is very, very important for football legacy for the
No,
because
El Maestro.
you dream of, because let me tell you, Muroki, every footballer they dream of lifting that World Cup. Every footballer they dream of lifting it,
No,
being known as
El Maestro.
as a World Cup winner.
Okay, Maestro, you're a
Yes.
skeptic and an atheist there. No, that cup itself, when you lift it, you won the match. Okay, I respect the players. There's teamwork, there's coordination, there's discipline. That's there. But
When
now
even
a cup. What's that now? What's a cup now?
Because
maybe
you won the game. You played in a pitch. You've won. You're the team that has won the game. You get the cup. In football, imagine if yes, you've reached the World Cup final and then you have the one on the losing side. Even that money, it doesn't. It matters less. Winning
no,
that trophy matters more than the money that they get. That
no,
is the
El Maestro, being a skeptic, that cup hapana, hiyo kikombe, no, it's okay. It's okay, okay.
no,
Maigwa,
it's for the footballers. It is very important for their legacy.
I'd rather the money is that money for the cup
Yeah.
should make maybe small stadiums for third world countries. These are money to make for us small stadiums. These are third world countries instead of a trophy, which is just there. Make money with that cup, not just keep a cup. Okay, Maigwa.
I think the cup itself, we go into the realm of symbols when we start to talk about the cup, and perhaps the possession of the cup, it's symbolic of the championship, and it's more important. It's like holding the ritual of a wedding. So one might think that it's like doing it in front of all these people and showing your affection to whoever you are getting married to for only one day, and then spending the rest of your lives perhaps being miserable, but you spent 1 million shillings for just this one day. It might look useless, but perhaps at the base it has its meaning. Perhaps marriage as a technology, when it was being invented, holding such rituals was signaling to people who had this sexual tension with your wife. You are telling them that she is mine, really, and you should not perhaps go and try to pursue her sexually. So these symbols, they have their own meaning, and I think that just holding the cup, raising it, after you win it, I think that goes a long way to symbolizing that you are the champions of 2016, or after 4 years. Having that golden cup that has been perhaps molded from very expensive gold, and raising it and perhaps holding it in your country. If they do that for 4 years, perhaps it's the most prestigious thing. And we know everything about humans. We are a symbolic species. Our language is arbitrary. It is full of symbols. So I think the symbol of the World Cup is very important, if I may say so.
Okay, Maigwa, as a skeptic and atheist,
Mhm.
just we are skeptics. Does it make
Mhm.
sense? It's like me when I watch football, I like
Mhm.
like I said, the teamwork. There's a coach,
Yeah.
referee, there are rules. You break the rules. Life is a game. That's why I
Yeah.
look for Inama. Yeah, but now this, you hold a cup up, a symbol. Yet me, I just like the discipline in any sport. Sports is discipline. But now these trophies, to me, I find them meaningless. I don't know. It's not worth it. It's like a waste of money. Even gold medals. You won the race. Now this gold medal, it's not a man. Give you money, not this
Yeah.
symbol. What do you think?
I think the symbols carry very huge weight to us as a species again. So I
In
really
reality,
don't think we
my God,
can.
in reality, in reality, in
Uh,
reality, not
yeah.
in your mind, in reality.
Okay, practically or pragmatically, it's not. It would be better if that money was given to third world countries, as you're saying, but we all know the kind of irrational things that go into any forms of community, or I don't know how to word this, but I'm just saying that at the end it's something irrational, and it's somehow built into our evolution. I don't think we can escape it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Doctors, let David go, David, go.
Hello, everyone. A legacy and football. Let me first of all say a legacy Of course, it can be negative or positive, and it can be even a small thing that goes really a long way. Because let's say you help somebody in a family and they go and help their family. Maybe it might not be something that is known to the whole world or to the whole country or even to the whole village, because you might have done it just quietly. But it is still a thing that went a long way, whether it is known or not. So for me, legacy is like that tree that fell in the forest. Even if nobody heard it, it still made a noise. And the birds, maybe the birds heard it and they flew away. So I think when we think about legacy, it is easy to think of Mandela and to think of our freedom fighters and to think of our scientists. And the reason that we think, let us say, about Mandela or the freedom fighters and the scientists is because it was hard. It was a sound that was heard by a lot of people and carried to many other places. This sound that is carried to many other places has got implication. There are other nations that looked at Mandela fighting for freedom in this country and they said, hey, even ourselves, tumechoka na hii kitu. They heard it, they saw what it was doing, and they decided to act for their own backyard, for their own country. Or even somebody does that for their own life. So I think legacy could be a lot of things. And as for in FIFA, in FIFA soccer, people being given money only and not the trophy. The trophy, yeah, money, yes, money is very good. Money is sometimes money is everything, but the trophy is also priceless in that it helps other people compete to get it. Other teams
Priceless.
also want to get this thing.
They were priceless. It's so expensive. It costs millions, that cup. It costs millions. It's not priceless.
That's why
It
I'm
costs
saying
millions.
it is priceless. Yes, it is priceless. Priceless means that it has got a very high price. It is priceless.
For what?
That trophy, and that is why they fight for it. That's why there's that competition. And as we know, competition is usually good. Competition is usually a good thing. And the competition in soccer and the young people going out there and competing is good because number one, they want to win. And number two, the whole world has joined in this exercise. Little kids are out there kicking a ball instead of sitting in front of a TV. They are out there exercising. They are building good muscles and they are building good bones. So I think, I think this FIFA thing is a good thing. Thank you.
No, David, my question was the cup. Sports is very important. Sports is very
Yes.
important. I'm talking about that cup. Like the winning team should talk to young people and tell them about teamwork, self-respect, restraint, discipline. Tell them how they won the game. How do we win this game? Because we were disciplined. Now this trophy, to me, it's not worth it. That's my argument.
Yes, but yeah, but you have to win something with all that effort. You have to win something priceless.
Money. Yeah, money. Never money. Money is enough. We need
Money,
money.
yes, but
Yeah.
Muriuki, Muriuki, money, yes, but something priceless. Oh yes, and if you say if you are taking it as a pageant, okay, so the winners take the pageant to the road and talk to young people, influence young people. I think that is a very good idea, and I do see. Of course, lately we always see the teams come in with younger teams. I think these kids that that come into the field with the players, I think they are also usually soccer players. So, which is also, that is a kind of like acting for the next,
That's good. That's good.
the next team, the next cohort of players you are bringing. I mean, you are encouraging them. So I think they can do more, definitely. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Dorcas.
Okay, when you had asked that question in the subtopics earlier in the week, my perception was that what you objected to was the relentless pursuit of achievement, not the actual trophy, the object itself of achievement.
It's the object. No, it's the object. Dorcas is the object. It's a trophy. It's a
So,
trophy.
okay. If that's the case, then I think it's worth it. I agree with everybody else. I don't know what your obsession is with.
Too expensive. Too expensive for nothing. Too expensive, man.
So you are against any expensive thing in this world?
No, that money can be used for something else.
Do you think people should not build yachts because yachts are expensive? Or do you think people should never build Bugattis because they're expensive?
No, Dorcas, you're going off, eh? I'm talking about gold medals.
No, you don't understand comparisons, Morioki. I'm not going off. I'm trying to understand, why are you obsessing over the price of the trophy when there are other things out there that are expensive and people still pursue them? People still acquire them. I think it's neither here nor there.
Sports reflects life. Eh? Sports reflects how life is. Like I'm saying, leadership, being a follower, being a leader, following rules. That's sports. That's what we need to we learn from the World Cup. Leadership and following rules, not objects of gold.
No. As Maigwa said, the trophy is a symbol of achievement. Money, in and of itself, can end. There's this fighter, what's his name? Can somebody help me? There's a boxer, an American boxer, a recent one that has been doing really well. Like
Mayweather. Is it Mayweather?
Something, yes, that one. That guy, Floyd.
Mayweather, yeah.
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather, yeah.
He's bald, yeah. He's an African American. So Mayweather became a billionaire thanks to his boxing, and he was a billionaire. He got money. He was compensated the way you are advocating for sports men and women to be compensated, but he lacked financial discipline and is now actually broke. He's bankrupt, and he's trying to get back in the game. He's trying to do matches, a lot of matches, and he's even fighting nobodies just in order to sustain that lifestyle that he had started when he was up there. So money, that's the problem with only compensating people with money, is that money can get finished, but the trophy will always be there as memorabilia, as a way of capturing that moment. And it doesn't even have to be the World Cup or sports the way you are saying. There are other trophies that are not that expensive. Yeah, they're not that expensive. Like, I remember in my life, I have won, I've entered many competitions in the area of public speaking. And I remember I got I got the 2018 East African Champion of Public Speaking trophy. It was euphoric. Oh my gosh, I can remember it like it was yesterday. And I still look, and unfortunately, they gave us the trophy, and then the trophy was taken back by, they call it the chapter to which we belong. They are custodians of the trophies. So you don't go home with the trophies, but you go home with the certificates. I wish they gave us those trophies so that I could relive that moment. But nonetheless, the certificate still does it. And I look at that certificate and I'm like, yes, that was a remarkable achievement for me. And in fact, that became the point where I started my career in communication training. So I think in order to capture those powerful moments, in order to capture all of the discipline, the teamwork, the dedication that has gone into you winning, you need to have a symbol of it. So I am an advocate of it. However, I have to give with one hand and take with another, that there are times where relentlessly pursuing achievement can become unhealthy. You know, like the way it is with our grades in school, where somebody just focuses on getting good grades, but not on learning anything, on getting a proper education, something that will be useful for decades on end. You see? So there it becomes a problem. It just becomes an obsession. It removes the joy out of competitions, and it actually just makes it a pressure-filled, anxiety-filled situation. So the extremes are always a problem. A relentless pursuit of these accolades can become problematic because you don't enjoy the journey. But if you maintain that fine balance, I think it is good enough. It embodies that discipline, that pushing yourself to the point that you become the best in your field. And there's definitely no problem in having a symbol of that moment. Thank you.
Dorcas, a quick point. In fact, Dorcas, in the hangouts, in your breakout games, I'd rather you give us money than anything else for the winner. It would be much better if the winning team got some money, not a symbol. What do you think? It will make the game even more better. The breakout games.
By the way, sometimes I give money. Yeah, I've given money. I've given money. And remember, AKA has eaten a lot of my money because of that. So anyway, guys, you've not answered my question. Same for Morioki. Nobody else has answered my question, please.
You stopped.
Yeah, I got broke.
Maybe answer.
Hello. Yeah, once I get back on my feet, you guys will be making money when your teams win. Yeah, so guys, please answer my question on legacy.
Give us money only.
And Muriuki, where do you draw the line of not giving anything in competitions? Do you stop giving certificates, for example, of academic certificates, or do you where do we draw the line?
Yeah, I wish like endeavor for qualifications, there's somebody would call authority to confirm this person is qualified. Because at times they are fake certificates. There are people around who buy certificates or they make fake certificates. So I wish there was somebody in authority who would always call to confirm these are dentist, these are surgeon. That's better than a certificate because they can be faked. What do you think?
And that person that we call cannot be compromised?
Okay. 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 Wow. Okay.
But
Okay.
let us say we have a problem. Okay, we agree we have a problem, right? About of compromising people. Yeah,
Which problem?
that's it.
Which
Yeah.
problem? Problem?
Oh, Morioki, you're breaking off. I hope it's not just me, guys.
No, he is breaking up. Yeah.
Yeah, Morioki, something is up with your internet.
Maybe I'm a,
Okay.
you are still
Morioki,
breaking.
No.
Okay, as he finds a stable internet, let me answer Dorcas' question on legacy, living a legacy, having cheating as a form of living a legacy. I don't know if I have ever said this story, but there's a friend of mine. He got his first child when he was still in campus. A man, of course. He got his first child when he was in campus. Then he got his second child when he got a job. No, the job is it was not a really well-paying job. But then he's my friend. Of course, he was still struggling financially, even with the job because of the massive debts he has. Debts, I mean, he has. So I was still also I was still in university. So he was coming to take a loan from me. Of course, he's my friend, and we trust each other. Each other, I gave him, but I asked him, Kwani, why were you fast in having children? Why were you rushing in having children? You should have just waited. You stabilize first, financially, then you and your wife you begin having children. But then his answer was, yeah, I have to leave a legacy before, hii maisha tomorrow is not guaranteed, so I have to leave a legacy as early as possible. And I was like, okay, legacy. He said actually legacy to him. He said, I have to leave a legacy because anytime because if I die now, at least I will have left my junior. And I'm like, so now, I also have another friend of mine who actually went to the same school. He got a child, and then sadly, that was in 2024, he passed away. Okay, so yes, he has a child, he passed away. So is that really a legacy? Huh? Just having a child and you pass away. So this child what about if this child now decides to not to have children? Huh? Or what about, yes, you've gotten your first child, sadly you pass away, then this child, even before he reaches adolescent stage, or even before he reaches the age of 18, sadly also passes away. So what has that really affected your life or your legacy? So having children as a form of living legacy, for me, it does not make sense. If it can be a legacy, if yes, you have a business, or you have something that you are leaving for these children when you die, so that they can inherit it, and they can keep the business, or the company going. But just having children for I don't know, so that the family tree goes on, does not make sense. You have no right, you have no power, or you have no say in this child's future endeavors, if they decide to have a child or not. So having I don't know, you want to have a child as a form of legacy. To me, it's neither here and there does not make sense.
Oh, Dorcas, I'm back. Dorcas, has he answered you? Are you satisfied, Dorcas?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, thanks. Devin, as I left, you said that we have a problem about compromising,
Pardon?
about certificates and yeah.
Yeah, because we do recognize a problem
You
with the
said
certificate and
we have a problem with compromising. When you mentioned the certificate, yeah.
yeah, we've got people are compromised, people who are compromised. That is, I think that's a separate thing of corruption. And I wanted to attempt, or rather to add to what El Maestro said in Dorcas's question about having children as a legacy. I know that is really ridiculous, because the effort, I mean, it is a big effort in having children and raising them. Anybody can have children. It is in the effort is in the raising them, and raising them well, being there for them, doing all the things that are necessary in that. Therefore, realistically, you can't be having children as a legacy. I think you should be having children because you love to. But if you are going to say build a school or furnish, give tables to a certain classroom in a school, then that one you're also doing because you love that. But that is a legacy. So I think for children it is tricky. It's tricky in that even if you are having children so that they can take care of your business. I remember when I was a kid, there were so many shops in my little town. Each one had this family name, this family name. I can assure you, those names are no longer there. And if you want a legacy for somebody to remember you, let's say 100 years from now, and you can think about that. You can just think how that will go 100 years from now. So I think, yeah, I think children, we should have children because we are ready, and we are psychologically prepared already, physically, psychologically ready, and also financially ready and willing to bring them up, to take care of them. Thank you. It's for them. It's not for us, but it is for them. You are taking care of them, not taking care of yourself.
Okay, thanks, David. And then Dorcas, maybe I can add to your Mayweather. Trust me, if he's broke and he has medals, he'll sell the medals. Dorcas, if he has no money, if he has any medals he won during his prime, he'll sell those medals to get money, showing you that money is more powerful than the medals. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Okay, Maigwa.
I would like to try and attempt to answer Dorcas. And I'll say, I think that having children is it's it's the fundamental way to leave a legacy, because we are basically like egg carrying machines. The only purpose that we can really say we have on this earth is to pass on our genes, or create mini asses, or like little people in the form of us. I think that it's the most fundamental way. Now, she was asking whether it's rational, and I'd say it's irrational, because first of all, like having children and raising them, as Never pointed out, is very expensive compared to perhaps passing on wisdom or writing poetry. It's less expensive than having and raising children, but we cannot escape the fact that having children is the most fundamental way to, like, leaving behind like a biological trace is the most fundamental way to leave a legacy. as living beings.
Okay, Maigwa, like I mentioned earlier, when you see Uhuru Kenyatta, do you see Uhuru or you see Kenyatta?
I see Uhuru Kenyatta himself. I don't
Maigwa.
see Jomo Kenyatta. I do not see Jomo Kenyatta. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so then what's the legacy? Yeah, I can hear you. You see Uhuru, right? Not Kenyatta. So which
Yeah.
means it's not a must because Kenyatta has gone. Uhuru is Uhuru, and Kenyatta was Kenyatta,
I
right?
think she was asking whether it's rational. She was asking whether she was not asking whether it matters. But I get you what you're saying. But even if I see Uhuru Kenyatta himself, it doesn't negate the fact that it was Jomo Kenyatta who caused him. So I don't know if it matters at that point because it was Jomo Kenyatta who caused him. I cannot see Uhuru Kenyatta were it not for Jomo Kenyatta. So in that I think when you put it that way, I can say that it really mattered that Jomo Kenyatta had sex with whoever he had sex with to get Uhuru Kenyatta.
Doctors, Doctors, you
Yes,
okay?
Mama? Yes, yes, I'm okay. Those are great answers.
You okay? Yeah. Okay, fine. Now we're talking about money. What makes us to work? Is it just money or there's something else? Think of Safaricom. At times when all these things, they have so much money, but there's no mercy for me. No matter how broke I am, if I do a core, I have to pay them, which for me just proves that life is all about money. No matter how much money Safaricom has, no matter how little you have, there's no mercy. So do you work for money or there's something else that motivates you? Thanks. Rachel, what do you think? Rachel, I think you work in a phone company. Do you work for any other reason? I mean, it's just money. Rachel.
Okay, I work for money. Are we discussing work or legacy?
No, now we're talking about now. This is just now what motivates you to go to work. Is money the only issue? Is money the only thing that motivates you to go to work?
Yeah, mostly it's money. Yeah, mostly it's money. There's a few benefits you get from going to work, but I think money is the main thing. Yeah, because the other benefits, I believe you can get them
In
without
fact, Rachel,
working.
this goes to
You can get the
in
other
fact,
benefits without work. If it is about socializing with people, you can do it without working. If it is I don't know, experience, you can do it without really working. Work is just for money.
yeah. In fact, I'll go back to the sports again. Like these footballers, they have a job to do. Playing football is a job, and they are paid for it. So that's why I was so against this World Cup. They go and get contracts with a lot of money, and they get rich. So if you ask those footballers why they are playing, they want to get money. They get the best team, and they're bought, and the person who buys them will fight for them to give them more money than the other team. So again, it just proves money is everything. Rachel, am I right?
And what is wrong with that?
No,
Is
I
money?
mentioned about the World Cup. No, the World Cup is not necessary. It's all about money. There's no need of a World Cup. Just give the players
Muriuki,
money.
I've already told you the World Cup there is prize money for it, but the players already they have a lot of money. These players who are playing in the World Cup already they already many of them are rich.
You cannot,
So you cannot,
you cannot
yeah.
compare people who are going to World Cup with someone who is going to be a cashier in Moonshot supermarket at the back of your estate. Those are two
Exactly.
But
different
Rachel, no, Rachel,
These
there.
people who are going to the World Cup, Muriuki, they are already rich. Already they are
yeah, those
rich. They are,
people are,
okay, of course, there is a prize money for the people who win the World Cup, but for them, they want the trophy. These are sportsmen. They want the trophy. The prize money does not interest, because actually I don't know, it's Never or Doka who said this money that they get from winning this World Cup, they'll spend it, and after like 1 or 2 years, the money is already finished. But what about now? What else is left? The legacy they have left, that they won the World Cup. Like the winners of today is the anniversary of the 2010 World Cup final. I've seen one of the winners of the 2010 World Cup final posting on X. The money that he got, he has already spent it on other things. Even if he earned more money later, he has already spent that money that he got. But what's left? The fact history that he won that World Cup. He lifted that World Cup. Are we together, Muruki? These players that and there's something else you are saying that I don't know the World Cup trophy is expensive. FIFA is this the FIFA the football governing body of football, FIFA. These guys are rich. They have money. A World Cup trophy is nothing to them,
but
even
to
if it
us,
is in gold.
Maestro,
They can afford it.
yeah,
It's to them. They
yeah,
have a
I
lot of
think
money. That is
give
the
it to us,
governing body of
Maestro,
football. Hmm?
give it to us, Maestro. Give it to the poorer countries like us. Give it to us instead of a trophy. Give it to us.
Why should they give you and you've not earned it? World Cup is not a charity, my friend. World Cup is not that is not a charity trophy. That is a trophy that you should play and you earn it and you win it. It's not a charity. That is
Uh,
not. It's not for charity.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, that was the second subtopic. It was about a survival. Is money the only thing that makes you go to work? It was the second subtopic. Yeah, that's why I brought about money. That's why I brought again. I went back to sports because of players get a lot of money. So okay, now we can go to the third
Yes.
subtopic. Yeah. Now the third subtopic, as you conclude, it's about righting wrongs. Like you mentioned, Mandela, Kimathi, many bad things happened to them. Now, like in Kenya, for example, our country, the British were told to apologize to Kenya for what they did. Now the question is, that apology, is it worth it or not? Because to me, if they apologize still, it make a difference because they did the damage. The damage was done. So those apologies for apartheid, slavery, Bill Connor, like this, to me, they don't help at all. So what do you guys think? Does apologizing help making wrongs right? Does it help or not? Thanks. Ndebe?
Yes, thank you, Moriuki. For one, apology is about recognizing a wrong, that a wrong has been done. That is what, to me, that is simply what an apology is about. And until and unless people apologize, they have not recognized that they did a wrong. As for work, for me, I'm concluding. As for why I got work, I would say I used to work for somebody who used to say in French, "Je travaille pour l'argent." I work for the money, and that means that says you work for the money because all the time in the pyramid of things, food is always what food. Well, I'm not going to say oxygen because we are not yet buying oxygen. Food is always the basic thing that we need. Everybody, we do that for money. Almost everything you do for money to buy food. So you do it to get food. So is it money? Money for food. So yes, yes, the money is another thing. And as for trophies and being paid for whatever it is you do, if you are just talking about the soccer players, what about the person that has got a talent as a doctor? Should they or should they not be paid? What about the person that does field and athletics, things, athletics and stuff like that? Should they be paid? Yes, that is a talent that they have. That's a talent we recognize. We recognize music talents, and we go to we attend concerts. So I think that kind of, for me, that kind of sums it up, that somebody has a talent, we go to spectate that talent and we pay to get in. And we're paying because there's something we want to see. They have a talent. Thank you. Doctor, we pay because they have a talent. They have a talent for healing us.
Okay, I was against the medals. I'm against the David, I was against the medals. I get what you're saying. I'm just against these expensive metals that you're talking about. But just pay the runner, the one who won the marathon.
They are a winner. Yeah, they are a winner. There used to be a time that the losers used to be killed, but now the winners, we just give them we give them something.
Okay, fine. Okay, then. Okay, guys, righting wrongs. Does it work? Rachel, what do you think? Like saying sorry, like the British saying sorry to Kenya for what they did during when we colonized. Does it work? Mandela, apartheid, saying sorry for apartheid. Does it work or not? Rachel, what do you think?
Yeah, it is actually important. It's not necessary, but it's important. Okay, apologizing is not really necessary, but it's important that you do. And even righting wrongs, because okay, righting the wrongs practically is necessary. It is necessary because we have seen places where apologizing and actually getting to the business of correcting your wrongs has actually created a better society, with an example of Rwanda and the genocide they had in 94. So after that, they took a period of reconciliation and looking for people to prosecute, but they were mostly focusing on reconciliation and also implementing things that brought people together and rebuilding the society. I mean, after Kagame took power, he could have taken the route of revenge, revenging on people who massacred your community, and continuing to polarize the country. But he chose to rebuild the country, to bring cohesion. They have that monthly period ya kupatana, you clean the community, you talk, mnajuliana hali, mama so and so kama ako ama alipotelea wapi, So I believe, correcting wrongs is necessary, though apologizing is not usually, I don't find it really necessary, because it won't change what happened in the past. It won't change what happened in the past, and neither will it guarantee an acceptance of the apology that you have given. But righting wrongs, I think it's necessary and important.
Okay, thanks, Rachel. Dorcas.
Let me answer the first question on work. Is the point of working making money? I think that's the primary goal. There are also secondary goals, and these secondary goals, if neglected, they can cause discontentment, and they even explain why some people quit high-paying jobs. Yeah, because money is important, but it's not the only thing. There are also other things. So for instance, if there is a sense of unfairness, if maybe you operate in a workplace environment where people give promotions to those that don't deserve, where the quota of work allocated to you is too much compared to the other people around you, you'll feel that sense of injustice and you'll be disgruntled. You'll be unhappy about it. Maybe you are in a workplace where you lack autonomy, yet the job description allows for it. Maybe you have a micromanager who questions every move you make, who requires you to report about anything that you do. They essentially shackle you as you do your work, and it makes that place untenable, yeah, or hostile, toxic, etc. So I think we also work in order to get a sense of purpose. You know, like those retired people, maybe they have life savings, maybe they have money. Money is not their problem, but they don't have a reason to wake up in the morning. They're not making a sense of contribution through work because they have retired. That can be a problem. So I think we need to also consider those secondary goals of work. But money is the primary one because it's what enables you to fulfill your basic needs. Yeah, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we first start with the basic necessities, and then we go to a sense of belonging, and then we go to self-esteem or self-actualization. And this security, I think, as a second tier. So if those other qualities are missing, then you will be dissatisfied with your work. Now, on this last question. Wait, what was the last question again?
Right in wrongs, right in wrongs, right in wrongs. Is it worth it? Right in wrongs.
Yes, I think it's worth it because I think it is worth it for perpetrators and victims that are both alive, and for situations where the perpetrators are long gone because of the issue of legacy. Yeah. So for the second one of where both are alive, it gives you a sense of closure. When somebody has wronged you and then they apologize, you know, it kind of settles you down, calms you down, if I can say so. I remember there was a day on the group Semakula made fun of my photo because my face looked lighter than my hands. And then the whole group was talking about my complexion, different colors. One people, I think even you, Black Messiah, I've seen is just logged in. Yeah, he's the one who was saying different colors, one people, and everybody was going on and on and on about my complexion, which I am actually insecure about. So I chatted Semakula and I was like, Semakula, that was so unnecessary. Like, if you have issues with how that photo looks, I just side chat me because he was recommending either I should change my makeup or I should change my lighting. You could have given me those recommendations privately instead of embarrassing me in front of the whole group and making me the butt of jokes. And he apologized profusely. And that settled the matter. Yeah, it settled the matter. So it gives that sense of satisfaction for the perpetrator and the victim that are both alive. We've seen this kind of reconciliation in prisons where some perpetrator, maybe he robbed somebody or he killed a family member, then he goes and apologizes and there's some sort of reconciliation. So yeah, psychologically speaking, it helps the victims. Now, for the ones that are long gone, the perpetrators that are long gone, the legacy still lives on, like in the case of colonialism. I think an apology is still important, as Deve said, because it's an acknowledgement that a wrong was done. But it shouldn't end at that, since the legacy of something like colonialism or the legacy of slavery often leaves economic imprints. Those are very important. You know, in a place like South Africa, the legacy of colonialism is that 70% of the land owned in that country is by white minority settlers. So the apology a verbal apology would not be enough. Some financial compensation should accompany the verbal apology to right the wrongs of such an injustice. I think I've spoken for too long, and even our time is running out. Let me leave it there. Thank you.
Okay, Dorcas, very quickly, if somebody says the damage was already done, what did you say? Like if somebody apologizes, like the British, and you say too late, the damage has been done. What did you say? Quickly.
Yes, it does not undo the damage, but it remedies. You know, it's a remedy. After the fact, it tries to improve the situation. You'll never go back to who you were, but at least it improves somehow. Thank you.
Okay, Maigua.
To answer that final question, my mind also went to reparations when we think about legacies. Because for example, the legacy of racism in the US, whatever it did is that it disenfranchised Black people such that they could not even the racism, they could not get loans in the 1960s. And so downstream, there are people who are not getting educated well. There are people who are not there. There are people who cannot afford medical health care and this is perhaps because of the way they are living, diabetes and whatever. So I get it that it is important that it goes beyond a verbal apology, and it should reflect the some economic compensation too. But I would say that when it comes to legacies, I don't know where we should draw the line. There has been an explosion of literature and commentary in the US about where DEI has gone, and even it can be argued that Kamala Harris lost the election just because she was regarded as a DEI candidate, which is diversity, equality, and inclusion, which is something an initiative that has been created mainly to remedy what white supremacy over 400 years has done in the US. So when it comes to legacies, I think apologies are important in terms of verbal apologies and reparations, but I don't know where people should draw the line. In South Africa, it's the same thing. When Malema is singing "Kill the Boer, kill the farmer" type thing, I don't know what he's implying, or we know what he's implying, but can we say that it has gone too far to ask for an apology, to ask for people to right the wrong that has happened or was perpetrated by people who are already dead?
So, Maigua, in like South Africa, if a young Boer says sorry to an African right now, a young Boer says sorry to an African, does that make sense?
I'd say it does, because we are talking about legacies. Actually, if we were not talking about legacies, I'd say that the story doesn't matter. But because we are talking about legacies, and we noted earlier that legacies, they live with the people who are alive right now. So the Boer, they have profited from whatever racism their fathers perpetrated. And the African who is living there, there is a loss he has suffered because his father was disenfranchised or his aunt was disenfranchised. So I think that it does matter when the person who has profited from whatever their father did recognizes that the other person there's something they've lost because their ancestors were disenfranchised or something. Because so I'd say that it really matters when a Boer or a white person in South Africa says sorry to a black person there, and it's only because we have talked about legacies. Before now, I would have answered the same way. Rachel would have said that it's not necessary, but it's important.
And I meant a young one, eh? I meant a young boy and a young South African. That's what I meant, eh? The youth, the young ones. That's what I meant,
Yeah,
not the old ones.
yeah, because if your father plundered or if your father was part of uh, the elite or the white community in South Africa when apartheid was happening, it means that he was able to give you an education. So I mean, he was able perhaps to give your father an education, and perhaps now you are eating and you are reaping the benefits of being in such a family. I think you should recognize that the black person near you or living in the same place, their father was denied the opportunity to make a better life for his children. So I think uh, I wouldn't go as much as saying that saying sorry, but acknowledging the fact that there is an inequality that has been caused by the history or the legacy of apartheid is important. Perhaps not saying sorry verbally, but just recognizing it is, I don't know, it's important.
Okay, fine. Thanks. So it will clear the legacy, eh? It will clear the legacy. Fine. Okay. Now, as we close, eh? I want us to give our closing remarks as I ask a last question. Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize. Even Mandela won the Nobel Peace Prize. Even Wangari Maathai, they won the Nobel Peace Prize. So as we close, if somebody says, so what? What would you answer them about Mandela, Wangari Maathai, who else? Who else? Mandela, Obama, and Wangari Maathai. If somebody says that they won the Nobel Peace Prize, so what? What would you say as we close? Thanks. Maybe Rachel, you can start as we close. Rachel, if they say, so what? What would you say to them as we close?
Someone else too.
Fine. Okay, Ndebe? Ndebe, can you talk as you close, as you give your closing remarks? Somebody saying, so what about Wangari Maathai, Mandela, and Obama winning the Nobel Peace Prize? They say, so what? What would you say as you close? Okay, El Maestro, do you have anything to say as we close? We're giving our closing remarks. It's a tough question, eh? Okay, how about Maigua?
SWOT is such an inadequate way of dismissing whatever dismissing the trophy or the award that they got. I'd go on to say that I recently learned that whatever revolution that Mahatma Gandhi caused in or perpetrated or fueled in India is the same one that caused the partition that has brought about war between India and Pakistan for like over 50 years or something like that. And Mahatma Gandhi was awarded a Nobel Peace Prize. We still quote Mahatma Gandhi today for being such a pacifist and for conducting a bloodless revolution, which is very hard to do. So I'd say that whatever he did is still relevant, and he deserves the recommendation that he got, and we should acknowledge that as people who would want to live up to such an ideal, or whatever ideal that Nelson Mandela or Barack Obama did to win the Nobel Peace Prize. If you are striving towards such an ideal, then you should not belittle the Nobel Peace Prize or something like that, because we know that whatever earned Barack Obama his Nobel Peace Prize, there are critics that say that he did such a bad job when he entered in Libya and whatever, but that still doesn't negate the achievement that he did, that the whatever he did so that he could achieve the Nobel Peace Prize, being the first African American or whatever he did to deserve it. So what is such an inadequate way to dismiss that if you do not recognize that the Nobel Peace Prize is awarded to, and before it's awarded, there are scrutinies, there are deliberations. I think it's such an inadequate way to dismiss that.
Yeah, so the Nobel Peace Prize, it stands, it stands its ground.
That the recognition is very important, and we should recognize that recognition, because the people who gave it to him were not just bumbling idiots or something like that.
Okay, thanks. How about Muritu Akimani? Closing remarks. If somebody says, Wangari Maathai won the Peace Prize, so what? What did you say as you close, Akimani? Okay, maybe Doctors, you can close as you give your answer. Thanks.
Okay. Before I give my answer, I'd like to make an announcement, as we are all aware. In case you have not been following the updates, we are meeting tomorrow at Myra Residences, Kilimani. If you don't know where that is, it is at Kindaruma, where you get off at 4 Points, Sheraton, on Awings Codec, and then you walk downward. I'm presuming this person is using public transport. You walk downward until you get to Kindaruma, or until you see Carrefour supermarket. There's a Kamini mall there. So you enter through it and you will see Myra Residences. I hope we make time for this monthly event. We are discussing religious privilege in Kenya, 1, and 2, the limits of tolerance. Let's exchange ideas and break bread, quote unquote, this Sunday at midday in Kilimani. And we still have a balance. I think it was 3,700 last time I checked, or something like that. Kindly, if you can, contribute so that we are able to meet all our expenses. But even if we don't meet that target, we'll still meet. We'll work around it. Yeah, now on the question that you asked, so what Maigwa said, it's dismissive. It's not acknowledging how profound these people's accomplishments were. Wangari Maathai was crucial in protecting our greenery, especially in Nairobi, because our greedy politicians always want to turn those protected spaces into concrete jungles. I remember she spearheaded those protests And this is the reason why we still have Uhuru Park in the CBD. So it's important what she did. She passed on because of cancer, but her legacy lives on. Likewise, Mahatma Gandhi, but you remember when we spoke about heroes and how Mahatma Gandhi, yes, he accomplished much in the Indian political sphere, but there are many other problems that he had. He was a racist. He was abusive towards a minor, that word that rhymes with PDF, or that is abbreviated as PDF. Yeah, so
Doctor, let me cut you. Doctor, let me cut you. Let me cut you now. Now, because of that, that's what I'm saying. If somebody says so what, are they valid? They say so what? Because of like Gandhi, the wrongs he did, and they say so what? Is that a valid point?
it does not negate the change that he made, the fight for independence in India. It does not negate that. He still contributed towards it. What it does is it challenges the idea that he is a perfect human or he's a hero. Don't call him a hero with that dark stain on it. But the accomplishment does not change. It really does not. Yeah. So we need to appreciate nuance. Nothing is ever black or white in history. Nothing. So yeah.
Obama, also Obama, Barack Obama.
Obama, likewise, he brought the nation together. I think during his first election, he was one of the most loved presidents, and everybody was talking about how the country is one nation. So he did a lot for race relations in the country, but we still have challenges when it comes to peace in the US because he never really withdrew American troops from the Middle East, Afghanistan, and Iraq, and the military industrial complex that is rooted in the US still persisted under his regime. So maybe they gave him that award prematurely. They should have waited for him to finish serving, but nonetheless, it was still an accomplishment. It doesn't change it. So overall, by and large, I think legacies are crucial. I think they they make our world better. I'm so grateful to those greats that sacrificed their comfort in order to make our world better. Yeah. So overall, thank you everybody for participating. We are still not meeting our 1 hour target. Wow, we've exceeded by almost 30 minutes again. Maybe next time, whoever is moderating, let them begin so that we stick to 1 hour. People's attention spans have reduced. All the contributors, El Maestro, thank you for making time. Thank you, Deve, for your input. It was also great to see you, Rachel, in the meeting and to hear your perspective. Maigwa as well. I think it had been a while since you joined us, but it was great. Those insights were profound on on legacy, and any other person that might have spoken who I have forgotten to mention. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for coming up with this topic. I think it's very important. It has an impact in our society, and I look forward to you moderating other future topics. Have a good night, everybody, or good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Bye.